Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Samantha. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little sleepy. I just want a day where I don't have to do anything. I feel like as y'all know, me and Samantha were at Cody and Justice's wedding, which we'll get into in a second. But it was like once we came back home, I literally the next day had to wake up at 7, pick up Mello, and then it was like errands, like the Sunday groceries, laundry, Then the next day, I had to do something. And then I had like back-to-back talks with people, same today, and I've had talks today. I need to stop scheduling talks every single day and just do a bunch one day. But every day I have them kind of sprinkled out. But still in the job hunt, still hopeful. And I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things this week. What about you?
I'm the same. I feel like, just like trying to catch up on sleep and energy and just like have some downtime, which I have not been able to have yet. This is going to be a long week. I have to be at the studio every day this week. My teacher training starts this weekend, and so it's going to be a long week. I'm like, I don't really know when I will have that downtime, but
it's coming soon. Yeah, we have so much to talk about, y'all.
Yes,
let's get to it. Okay, so are you gonna ask me or I'm gonna ask you?
I guess we can say who's on trial. I'm like, it's Cody's wedding.
Cody's wedding's on trial.
Oh my god. We went to the most beautiful wedding this weekend, you guys. Like, it's Courtney's little brother. Courtney's been on the pod before. She's our third, like we've told you guys, and he got married. And yes, I've learned so much about Alexis this weekend. Like, she is a wedding critic.
Oh yes, I am a wedding critic.
She is a connoisseur of weddings, and like,
I do want to say there are people with a lot more experience, but I have more experience than them.
Alexis was predicting songs
because it's normal.
She was telling me every beat, like what to do next.
I do know the run of the show. I will say it was a strong wedding. Like, I would say it's probably the most beautiful wedding I've been to. And I've been to some weddings where people have tried to like curate the beauty, in like the natural environment. Like Jake's wedding was like kind of like on a mountain, and I feel like I've been to another wedding that like was very intentional. Like we want this to be like a setting. I felt like Cody's was like the one of the most, if not the most beautiful wedding I've gone to, y'all, because we were in Meredith, New Hampshire. So it's like a coastal like town in New Hampshire.
Which I've never been to.
Me either. I've never been to Meredith. I didn't even know Meredith existed. I didn't know New Hampshire could look this good. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know what to expect.
Imagine the most perfect like temperature in weather that like the water looks at its peak. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you go on a vacation, you see a picture of like a beach and like you can see the sun is at a perfect setting where like the water looks very beautiful. I feel like that's how it was. Like when we walked in, it was like the grass is green, the water is blue. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, yes. It was, I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. Like there were like boats going by. It was just so beautiful.
And then, so like to me that was strong, like 10 out of 10. And then we get to like the bride coming out. And like for me, I am a bride critic in the sense of like, I feel like I'm a bride critic in the sense that I'm rooting for the bride. I want the bride to look the best they've ever looked. I want the question to come up of, can they look better? And the answer be no, right? And so usually, most of the time, brides take my breath away. I see them and I'm like, you did that. And Jess did that, okay?
So like she came out, she was like, she did that.
She did it. She did it.
Just looks so beautiful. I
yes,
love the dress.
it was simple. It was simple. Like sometimes people don't need to do too much. She could have looked like she was walking out of like a J. Crew, like elevated J. Crew. Let's say, be real, but or like a Calvin Klein, or like that type
just
of lane.
Perfect,
like sophisticated
bride.
Yeah,
like just simple and perfect. Like the dress fit her perfect.
And her hair, she had like two like pieces out in the front and then like a really low, like beautiful polished bun. The veil was the event, y'all.
The veil was beautiful.
Yes, it had so many details, beautiful. And that was great paired with the plain, like I don't want to say plain, but it was like a very what's the word? Simple, polished dress. It was beautiful. Yes. She looked great.
Yeah. Cody looked great.
The officiant. Yeah, Cody looked good too. Sorry.
All of his, groomsmen, they wore like a navy, dark navy blue, which I loved. And
that's another thing I judge is the officiant, because I feel like the officiant can make or break a wedding. I realized that a couple years ago when I went to my friend Lauren's wedding, and that was the first time I ever heard an officiant that I was like captivated by. I was like, whoa. And from then on, I'm like, that makes or breaks the ceremony. And she did a fantastic job.
She was speaking my language of just like spiritual, like spirit is here, and
you could just tell she was. You could just tell she was gonna go deep. So the girl had a bald head. Okay, she was a black lady with a robe on, with a bald head. You knew she was about to get deep.
Yes,
and so we knew she was gonna deliver.
Yeah, it was beautiful message. It was just. It was just like everybody was beautiful. Like it was just like everybody's family, like everybody there was just like in good spirit, just good vibes. Like it was definitely like Higginbotham wedding where it was just like, outdoors, and like where we were staying was like right on the water. And
I want to say they had a great cocktail hour, which I look forward to. The drinks were good. They had signature drinks, which everyone should have, and they had good appetizers. The food at the wedding was good. I've had better food, but it was good. The party was great. Dancing, everybody was dancing. They played Pitbull,
which is great people. Like we met some really fun people. Like I feel like we made some friends. Like I followed some people, and and everybody, all the bridesmaids looked beautiful. Like the bridesmaids' dresses were all different. Like they could all pick their own, and it was just everybody did a great job on that. Like everybody picked a great dress. Courtney looked fabulous.
That usually goes well when people
everybody's
do it, I feel like
bodies were bodying. Like let me tell you, this wedding made me be like, I want to get in the gym because everybody's backs were just looking so chiseled in their dresses and stuff. So.
And they play. I was saying they played Pitbull, which is Jess's favorite, which was really cute. And then
Drake, which was
Drake,
favorite. Oh my god! And we didn't talk about like the father-daughter or dance and like the mother-son dance.
They did the traditional run of the show, father-daughter dance. No, sorry, father-daughter dance, son-mother dance. Yeah.
And what do you want to say about beautiful. That? Like Miss Higginbotham, Cody's mom. First of all, you guys, like. This wedding was just emotional because, obviously Courtney's our best friend since like second grade. And so it was just, I don't know, like when the wedding was happening, it was like, just life was like flashing before my eyes, and like how they had Courtney's parents' wedding picture. Like, I'm just like, wow, like all of that brought us here. And, it was just very beautiful to be. I think it was just like a person that has like, we've watched grow up, and like Cody's just so in love. Like you can tell, like he loves that girl. Like during the officiant, like when they were, doing all that, their IDs and stuff.
We definitely like, we saw a milestone.
The way he was looking at her, like it was just beautiful. So I'm just excited for them.
It'll be great. And then finally there was an after party. It was at a pizza place. I was actually taken back by the pizza.
Insane.
Because it kind of reminded me of like the Goofy movie with like that pizza slice that looks so good in the cartoon. It was like
perfect
cheesy
pizza,
and it was the sauce was really good, and the cheese was like very cheesy. It was really good.
Yes, the pizza. That's like that's like my favorite type of pizza. Like that's ideal. Like I was like, you got it. And
girl. They also had burgers and fries. It was like it's just you have to have open bar an after night.
It was just so
snack.
fun. Like
you have to.
not having gone to a wedding in a long time. Like it was just very beautiful. I really needed it. Like I needed like some human like life stuff because it's just like I don't know. It's just like this is what life is about, and like you reminded me like during the wedding. It's just like like when I go to weddings, like this is people's lives. Like this is like the start of families and stuff.
A new chapter. Mm-hmm.
And so it was just very refreshing for me being on the water, seeing everybody, seeing Courtney's family, getting to know like Jess's family and Jess's friends everybody was just super cool. Like it was just the perfect vibes all around. And so yeah, I really enjoyed myself. And and I feel like I just have like a new sense of like love for weddings, like you said. Like it's just like it's the perfect amount of like deep like life, because I love deep stuff. Like I love when things are just real, and so to have that and then have a party after, like that is like my kind of time. So I hope some of my friends start getting married soon so I can go to more weddings.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I hope so too. Like I always enjoy, like I said, the cocktail hour, the after night.
That's your favorite thing.
The midnight snacks and the dancing. But I feel like those
Alexis
are my favorite
just
parts.
wants to get like party. The things. I was like moved, like
I moved, but that's a very small part. I feel like the majority of the time for a wedding is joy, not like movement. But yes, like you're moved. Like it's real people's lives, right? You're seeing a milestone that either they'll be, they probably won't regret, but they'll always remember, good or bad, however it ends. And so I think that's like you're there for a very big change in their life.
Yes.
And so and then they're fun because there's also the little perks like cocktail hour and the midnight snack.
There for the perks. That's a good word. The perks.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time. Like that's how I see weddings.
Everybody looked so beautiful. I'm giving Miss Higginbotham best dress. Like I think she won
as a guest.
Yeah,
she didn't look better than the bride.
I mean,
okay.
no. Obviously.
Okay.
Jess and Cody were the main thing. Like they're just absolutely gorgeous. But in terms of the guest, just A+.
Absolutely.
Like she mother of the bride, like most like fashionable, chill look. Like she had what looked like a skirt. It was like
it looked like a dress, but
yes, looked like a dress. But I honestly thought it was like I felt like the straps in the shirt. I feel like
they were attached.
I feel like I could tell it was like it was attached. Okay, gotcha.
It was attached.
But yeah, it was like pants underneath and like it was just like a peekaboo, like with the pants under, and then like the shoes were matching the flower.
It's very her. So it's very her, and that's why I like. Yeah, and of course, Courtney has great style coming from a mother like that.
Yes, but I mean just fantastic. The stylish family. But yeah, and then the next day we had our Bon Voyage bagels, which was really nice. Like I loved having breakfast and just being on the water again. Like I laid out on that deck, y'all, like just listening to the water and being in nature. So yeah, it was just a really good weekend. We got back. I feel like the commute was the roughest part, but once we were there and back, it was like
but says the girl that was laying in the passenger seat the whole time, talking about it being rough. You had a nice little situation.
It was rough because guess what? On both sides of that, I had already driven
3 hours. Yes, 3.5 hours.
4 hours.
Okay, we'll even give you 4 to basically a 7. She lucked out, y'all. Let me tell you that.
All right, I'm not even in competition. I'm just saying that was the most like grueling part. Like waking up really early to get to New York and then get it. Like the drive up there when I was chilling, but I offered to drive, so let's not talk about that. Anyways,
well, we couldn't talk about it because you said anyway so quick.
Well, do you want to say something?
Let me think. I might. I think, I had a good time driving because I did get to listen to my music. I did, well, and
Gotcha.
Armand was funny.
You listen to
And I had some
Cardi
good
B.
snacks. We did listen to Cardi B, and maybe we'll just go into that. Because as y'all know, Cardi B released an album, Am I the Drama, on Friday, which I think was today, Wednesday? I think it was Friday, like this past Friday. Today's the 24th. It was the past Friday. And Friday. I feel like it came out to a critical acclaim. Like, I feel like overall people, I mean, it's selling a bunch of units. I see it's breaking records for rap albums, for like female albums. These are my thoughts. Mm-hmm. To wait as long as we did, which is over 5 years, over 6 years, I mean, a long time. I don't think it lived up to the hype. Like, I just feel like when you wait that long, it's so anticipated. It might even be such a tall task that it might not ever meet expectations because it's just so much anticipation with it. Mm-hmm. But I just felt like, to me, she generally overall did not grow in her rap skills and ability. I don't hear double entendres. I don't hear similes. I don't hear metaphors. I don't hear like witty lines. It's still very much like, if it rhymes, I'll say it, bat and hat, cat and mat, like, and I feel like there's a couple songs where she's a little bit more vulnerable, which we can say that maybe is an evolution, that it's not just about partying and looking like a bad bitch, but it's like she's talking about her divorce, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. But I would say that is maybe 3 songs out of a 23 song album. Mm-hmm. The majority of those songs are still talking about how she's a bad bitch, how she's pretty, how she is,
better than you.
Oh, she's better than you, just the stuff people always talk about. And so for me, it doesn't show that much evolution. I mean, there's a couple standout songs. I really liked Bodega Baddie. I really liked Principal. I really liked What's Going On with Lizzo. I enjoyed the songs where she was talking about her divorce. I did. But overall, I mean, to me, it's not a great album. It's not a bad album. It's kind of just like, all right. I don't think she's pushing rap for it. I did think Invasion of Privacy did push rap for it. Like, that was a new sound, and it was interesting. I think that's why she got a Grammy for it. I don't think she'll be getting a Grammy for this album. I don't. I think with Doja coming on her neck this weekend, I don't know if you saw, but Nicki Minaj announced that she's coming out with an album in March. I don't see this being, even just if we're talking lyrics, better. So congratulations. It's a feat to put out work and be vulnerable. But to me, it didn't meet the mark that I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I feel like I don't know if I had that big of expectations for it. Like, to be honest, like, I wasn't let down. I guess I'll say that. But I do agree that, like, overall, like, it's like, yay, you put out a body of work. Like, I probably would give it like a B. You know what I mean? Like, minus. But I feel like there's some bops on there, but like you said, it is like I think because it took so long, like, it's very Cardi B. It's very her flows, like, we're getting what we like from her. But because it was so long, it was just like, this could have came out. We could have had 2, 3 of these by now, where it's just like we're adding to a catalog. And so she definitely shouldn't take this long again. Like, but yeah, it did take it took a long time. And so, like, with that, it does give it a different feel. I did like the standout songs for me, because I've been listening, like, more. Like, I listened on my way home once we got back to New York. Then I listened to, just, it's been on my recently played. So I feel like I'd still like Hello, because we tried to go live, y'all. Like, we tried to go live and give our live reactions, but it didn't save for some reason. But At first I wasn't really feeling Pick It Up with Selena Gomez, but now I'm
really
like
it.
Now I'm like, it's definitely catchy. I'm just like, pick it up, dun, 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 pick it up, and just listening to the words.
Is it a standout though? Like you talking about your standouts? Okay, that's a standout.
It's something that's in my head, and that like I'm like, I want to hear that today. You know, like I like it enough to play it, because there's definitely songs that like Dead. I'm not really playing that. You know what I mean? Like Magnet, I feel like I've gotten a couple plays, but anyways. I like Hello. I like Pick It Up. Love Bodega Baddie just because it's, it's
different.
And it's just like, Bronx baby. Like, like it just feels good. I like Safe. Definitely love What's Going On. I mean, I just love that original song. So Lizzo kills it. And then I love Every Time. I think that one reminds me of, I don't know if it's like Too Short or something, but it's like it has like a certain vibe that I like in general. So that was fun that she did that. But Pitchfork gave it a 6.6.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that's fair. I don't think she'll get a Grammy for this, but I think that's fine. Like I think that's makes sense. It's fine. Especially when you're maybe in a category with a Doechii or a Doja or
it's fine because it is not worthy of a Grammy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I feel like I'm sure she probably is anticipating something like that because she's like, I've been working on this for however many years, like 23 albums, I'm going hard. Like, she's probably thinking that. But I think 6.6 is exactly where it stands. I don't think this is even a 7. I mean, like I said, it's above average, so it's above 5. But it's Armand is right. Armand me and Samantha both listen to Armand, and he talks about how like Cardi B is kind of graded on a different scale when it comes to Black female rappers. Like if Nicki Minaj put out what Cardi B put out, people would have dragged her. But some of the stuff she was saying, like Cardi was really doing stuff like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I like Barbies. Like, it's like, it was just like simple like that. And we would drag Doechii, we would drag Doja, but when Cardi does things like that, it's like, it's up, it's like the bar is lower. And so I feel like, yes, this can't be a 7 because the bars aren't that good. I'm sorry. The bars aren't that good.
Yes. And like when we were talking about on our live, we were kind of talking about like, is Cardi B an icon? Like Alexis asked me, like, do you think she's an icon? And I'm like, I think Cardi B is an icon. Like, I think herself is. We fell in love with Cardi B. Like, we fell in love with her as a person.
Yes, I
think that is why she is, icon status. Like, I mean,
I think she's iconic. I don't know if I agree with icon, but I think she's iconic. Like the stuff she does will go viral. It's like people catch on to her sayings, but I don't think she's an icon. I think that's a big word for someone who's only had 2 albums and the best one.
But it's not about that. Like again, like it's her. It's not about her music, like
So she's an icon in just her personality. Is that what we're saying?
I mean, she was a personality. Like that's how we met her.
So that's what I'm saying. You're saying she's an icon through her personality, not through her craft.
I mean, I think that it's all culminates together that makes her an icon. Like, just let me finish. So like, so she, I would say, I feel like I said, like we fell in love with her because of her music. I mean, not her music. We fell in love with her because of just who she is. Like her being able to be so, just herself, like her being able to be herself and be welcomed into and like admired in these spaces like a Met Gala, like on Vogue, like all these things. Like it's not because of her music. It's because of her music, but it's Cardi B that she does songs that have made an impact. Like we have to put some respect on Bodak Yellow and all that stuff. But I'm not saying that I still think that she has stamped herself as like an icon. Like I think that she's a doll of the industry, and it crosses fashion, you know. And honestly, fashion is, I think, a really big part of her like iconicness. Like I think she does do, like, we are looking for what Cardi B's gonna wear.
I
At least I
don't.
am.
But I think that, I mean, maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I just have like a higher bar for it. I mean, I do think she represents something for the culture. I do think she means something. You know, I'm not saying she's irrelevant. Like, I think she's very much relevant with how people say things, talk. Like, you know, like she has set a trend. But I just feel like the word icon is like triggering me because I'm like,
I mean,
I
she's like
don't
a
think that
Lucille, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not like in her crap, but like her personality and her talk and like who she is has become, you know, people know her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people know her across the board. Like, she is beloved for being her.
I was gonna
So
say I don't think she um I don't know. I just don't think her craft is quality enough. But maybe it's not about her craft. Maybe it's about her personality. But I also think, I don't know. It is what it is. We can disagree. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Like, is she an icon? I think a lot of people would have interesting responses to that. But overall, you know, props to her for bringing out an album. And a
yeah, thank
lot,
you for
I feel like
that.
the crazy thing is a lot of the talking parts around this album have been surrounded by her announcement of her pregnancy, which we talked about a little bit last week.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's now reemerged once Crissle from The Read kind of gave her opinion on their podcast. And she kind of basically, long story short, was saying Cardi B, this is not smart. Basically, she called her a dumb bitch on the podcast. It's not smart. Basically, she's having a baby right before she's about to go on tour, before during this album rollout. She's not going to be in shape for a tour again because, as we know, her first tour, I mean, after she was pregnant during Invasion of Privacy. Now she's pregnant again. Crissle believes this like show like this tour is not even really going to happen in the beginning. People are going to be wasting their money because Cardi B is not going to give a performance, and she's out of shape, and she's just going to get her mommy makeover as she always does, and she's not going to be in shape, and she's going to be also healing from a surgery. She also talked about how just like we have to be more responsible with who we're having sex with and who we're allowing to like get us pregnant. We know the drama that she's had with Offset. I mean, Cardi B herself has said Blossom doesn't even really know Offset. Like that's the kind of father he is. And um and then now she's having a baby by Stefan Diggs, who I believe has a 10-year-old, we said last week, but also has all these allegations from IG models that he has about 2 or 3 babies coming on the way by him,
Or have just gotten here this year.
And who have just gotten here this year. Also a sexual assault allegation by a man. So like people are just saying, and then also Blossom is only just turned 1. So this Cardi B has had a baby and then met another man and gotten pregnant within a little over a year. So people are also just being like, we need to be more responsible with who we procreate with, and someone that we know for more than just a year. And so she went in though. I said that nicely. She went in, she called her a dumb bitch. She said, use your throat, use your butthole, don't use your fucking vagina. And she said it's completely irresponsible and she's not thinking of the kids, kind of insinuating her actions are kind of selfish and she's not thinking about the kids. And basically at the end, my final note, she was like, don't come running and talking about, I'm a single mother and he doesn't do right by his kids, yada, 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 about Stefan Diggs in a year, because she should have known better from the jump. And we all could see this coming, basically. So with all that being said, how are you reacting to it?
First of all, I was shocked that Crissle was trending like about this podcast. Like I feel like it's been a minute since that has happened. And I was very curious to listen myself just to see like if it felt different than what she's done in the past, or just like, just the level of read, because we've heard a lot. And it wasn't even the read, it was just like her part of the hot topics or whatever. And so, I mean, when we listened together, I do feel like it was like she made some points. Like, like
Absolutely.
like this is pretty much like she didn't say it in a nice way at all. And she said it in a mean way. Like, let's be real. Like, she said it in a mean way. And I do think my thing always, like, the death part of things, like, that always, like, feels like it's crossing the line. Like, I just hope that you don't die on the operating table from your mommy makeover or whatever. Like, that's like a lot. I will say it's interesting and that's also what freaks me out too, because I'm like, Cardi B has also brought that up a couple times. Like, she's like, even on this new album, like when she's dissing Bia, she's like, I'd rather die on the table than look like you. And I'm just like, can we stop bringing up you dying on the table? Like, and so I just feel like, yeah, so that was my initial reaction. I wasn't floored. I wasn't like, oh my God, like Crissle just blah, blah, blah. Like, this is, she usually has some zingers that, I probably wouldn't say or whatever. But I will say that, like, as the week has gone by, as I've been able to, like, sit with it and, like you said, like, hear other people's takes, it's very interesting. I feel like it has a lot of different elements in it.
It does.
I think, like, I sent you that video about, like, classism, or just, like, class being, like, a big part of this. And
can we talk about that a little bit, and before you give the rest of your points, because I feel like I want to hear your thoughts about, like, specifically on the class thing. And I feel like people, like, I don't know if you saw Sterling, what's his name? Is it Sterling K. Brown? He's the guy that's on Black Island. His wife made a video and talked about kind of her upbringing. And I feel like that's interesting perspective in the conversation. So I kind of feel like we should have a conversation about it.
We can go into it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's very true. I think, the expectations for ones, or like what is normal or what is acceptable, I think varies a lot from classes, like in terms of having babies, like teen pregnancies and things like that. I think that it can be very normalized in a different way than it is in, like, the middle class or even, like, the upper class or whatever. Like, I feel like the upper class, it's like, you just get abortion. Like, it's like, if it happens, like,
or you don't even look bad. Like, I'm thinking of Jamie Lynn Spears. I remember she had it, or like a Solange, like, it's like it was handled because Jewels is on a yacht with Beyonce when he's 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did not get looked at how some girls only 16
I know, I do think you're right. I think that, like, the upper class, it is like, it doesn't matter. Middle class, it's like, people are looking at you and you might be like one of, like, I remember our school was like one person had a teen pregnancy. We went to a Catholic school, so it's a little different, I guess. But then there's, like, this is, like, I remember, like, a guy that I dated before, like, he told me that if you don't have a kid by, like, a certain age, like, men are looking at you like, are you gay? Like, like, if you don't have a kid by 21, it's like, what are you doing? Like,
or there's just like a bias on it, right? Like, I mean, I feel like whenever I open, especially, like, it's interesting when you think about single motherhood with classness too. Not even teen pregnancy, because Cardi B's not teen, but, like, when you just think about, like, single motherhood, like, I feel like, I don't know if you're getting this on your For You pages, but probably for the past 4 months, like, there's some single mother who's poor, and she's like, it's like, watch me feed my 7 kids on food stamps, living in a motel. Like, it's like always something like that, and the comments are disgusting, right? They're like, you are so irresponsible. How could you do this? How could you, like, you're just letting boys nut in you and having all these fucking kids when you can't afford them. And just, it's like mean comments, which has truth to it, right? You are continuously having kids you can't fucking afford, and that's irresponsible. But it's interesting when we take the same situation, but bring it to Cardi B. This is it. if this Cardi B was a poor person, we would say this is an irresponsible decision. You had a baby a little over a year ago, and now you're pregnant again by a different man that you've only known for a year or less. That is irresponsible, and people like, I think the only reason why Cardi B has a lot of people caping for her and going against what Crissle said is because the caveat is Cardi B can afford these kids. And I feel like that's very interesting. And also because we expect this behavior out of Cardi B. Like, I kind of think what you were saying earlier was true. It's like she was a personality prior to being a rapper. She was kind of known for being like turned up, like she has a temper, but she's also a party girl. She's like extremely sexualized. She used to be a stripper. She likes to suck dick. Like, this is like the type of, by her, mouth, like she said that. It's like, this is the type of behavior we would expect from someone like her. So I also feel like she's meeting expectations. And then there's a caveat of, well, she can afford it, so shut the hell up. I feel like one interesting thing that pushes this conversation to like a different level and a new perspective is what Sterling K. Brown's wife talked about in her TikTok, which was that she basically, long story short, grew up the majority of her life in Stamford, Connecticut. Her mother, when she was younger, like moved to New York, left her with her grandmother. She made a lot of sacrifices, but the point was she ends up marrying another guy who's rich, and they move her to Stamford, Connecticut, and she grew up with all the resources you can imagine. Like, we're talking big resources. Like, her stepfather paid for her college tuition out of pocket, that level of money, where she left college debt free. And she talked about like how there was this narrative surrounding her of like, well, you got everything, you got the big house, you got your own room, there can't be any trauma with your upbringing because you're rich. And she kind of was just like giving the perspective of like, it does not matter how much money you have. You can be in a rich household, but your parents make very irresponsible decisions, even if they can afford you and beyond. That still is traumatic. And I feel like she was making the point that all these people saying Cardi B is cool, like, it doesn't matter, stop talking about Cardi B because she can afford all these fucking kids by various men. Her irresponsible choices might still be, getting some trauma on her kids. It doesn't matter if she can afford it. This is irresponsible.
Yeah, it is interesting, all of these things that are coming together. Because, like, I mean, it takes a lot to have a child that is not trauma. Like, like everybody's going to have like a little trauma. But like in terms of like even us, like, it's just like like, although I didn't have, like, although finances were not, at that point where I could pay out of pocket, it's like, I've never wanted for anything.
Yeah, we went to private school our whole life.
Or just like, I've never gone without a meal. Gated
communities.
I never grew up without a meal. I never had to like, go hungry at night or, things like that. Like, I feel like that, like, I could feel like that about my life. Like, I shouldn't feel like I have trauma or whatever, but like the emotional intelligence of your parents and availability of your parents is a whole other thing. And yes, it doesn't discount your experience. And I think
money isn't enough. Like,
yes, money's not enough. But I also feel like, to be quite honest, like, I feel like a lot of people, I mean, most people, I would garner to say most people in the world are having children. And not that this is right, obviously, because I think that every child should be, I think that as we are learning more about trauma and, what children need, and we're examining our own trauma, it's like, okay, now we can make an attempt to have, if we're bringing children into the world, bringing them into the best situation in terms of just like the parent has some type of growth. But I would garnish say, I think that we're still on this precipice of where this trauma informed type of living is
implemented into all of our lives. Like, I feel like there's so many people, I think a lot of people don't have the access to it, one. And, yeah, it just hasn't become like a part of our culture. I guess what I'm saying is, like, I think most people come into this world with immature parents, emotionally immature. Not saying that it is right, but I'm saying that I think that I guess I just think that's what we're seeing, like, I think that Cardi B didn't have emotionally mature parents. And the one thing about learning about trauma and becoming emotionally mature is, like, you don't know what you don't know until you know. Like, yes, you have to, like, I do think you have to do the work, but like we said, Cardi B grew up in a different class. Like, she did, like that girl said, like, when you grow up in a certain class, this was like from a book that she was reading, like, you have to know how to fight, like, you have to know how to do these things to survive. And I think that we might dismiss how much it takes, like, what the real work and, like, what it takes to come out of survival mode and to come out of some of those, like, learned behaviors, like growing up in the way that Cardi B did. It's not to excuse it. I do think that it's irresponsible. Like, I think that it is, like, yeah, like, this man has 3 babies that are just gonna get here in 1 year, allegedly, and you don't know him. Like, like, at the end of the day, like, you don't know him all the way. Like, and you're okay with,
and a lot of her friends and a lot of people on TikTok,
single mother, or, like, pretty much being like,
she is a single mother.
And like, the dad, it does have a father. I do think another thing that's been in my mind, though, is, like, I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more of just different kind of families. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it's like a norm, I think, that we're seeing, like seeing single mothers, that it's like, this is
I don't think single, I mean, yes, I mean, and single motherhood has been going on for decades, but I think that the thing that people, yes, like, we will embrace non-traditional families. I think the thing that people are harboring on is that the irresponsible nature of this family. It's not that, of course, make a family however you want to. That's not the point. The point more so is, you just had 3 kids by a man that you openly fight with on TikTok and Twitter because he's a terrible father. And from your words, you say at this point now, the babies, you have to, like, he's missing times to see them. They kind of have to hunt him down to see him. You knew he was a bad father, getting fucking pregnant by him, because you had to start bringing his other kids around. And then now you're saying your youngest doesn't even know him. And now you're about to have a baby with someone a year later that you just met. We have to say this year, and you had a baby last year. Like, this is irresponsible. This has nothing to do with, like, what a family makeup looks like. The question more so is, why is it that it is okay for Cardi? We look at it differently when Cardi B engages in this type of behavior, but there's a different response when someone, I would say middle class and lower, would do the same thing. I can tell you right now, if I had cousins that had 3 kids by a ancient man, basically, and then had a year after having a baby was pregnant again by a man they just met, my mother would have so many things to say. You know what I'm saying? We'd be judging the hell out of them. But there's a different standard for Cardi. There's a different standard for Cardi.
I know, but I do think
that's interesting.
I do think that the way she's living her life is kind of normalized in the class that she was before she became Cardi B. Like, I do.
Normalized but judged. Like, let's be very real. It might be normalized, but the majority of society would judge these people. There's narratives that are placed on bodies.
She's 32.
There are narratives placed on poor people. We know that. She's from the Bronx and was poor. That type of behavior would be judged.
I don't think she's, like, having 4 kids at, 22.
It's not her age. We're not talking about her. Like I said, it has nothing to do with teens.
Saying,
it's the irresponsible nature of the men. And her.
Okay, I guess I can see that. I think it would be judged, but I do think that, yeah, I got to say, like, just like the timeline of it and like the different men and all that stuff.
Because Crissle didn't give a damn about her age. Crissle was the point of Crissle's was this, even if you're rich, like, this is so irresponsible. Like, you have been talking about how bad of a father and man your other 3 children have, and now you're about to engage in this behavior possibly again.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredibly irresponsible.
That's what I think it is, like the possibility of this, like, and like if we're looking at probability now, just learning about who this guy is, or just like, you know, what he has going on, you might have been able to realize that with more time. And
I mean, he has a bad reputation. You told me, like, they went around in the locker room and asked who would you least want to date your daughter, to his teammates. They all said Stefan. Yeah. He was on Family Feud. And they were like, finish the sentence, leave it, and he said N. He's like, he has some IG models alleging that he just welcomed 2 to 3 kids this year. If I had a willing to bet, I don't think this is gonna end well, and even if they're together. I mean, did you see Cardi sat down with Angie Martinez for an interview?
I didn't watch it.
And she said that basically that she's like ready to have sex because she hasn't had sex in 3 weeks because Stefan is, you know, in New England playing with the Patriots. And all the comments were, I guarantee you Stefan Diggins hasn't waited 3 weeks to have sex. And I agree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I agree. A football player that looks fine like him, you're telling me is waiting 3 full weeks, being completely honest. I would have to say that's not true.
It is just, yeah. I think what I like, where it comes down to, and like, that is what I've been struggling to get to. It's like, where is the irresponsibility? It's because you don't know this people. I mean, you don't know this person. And you're choosing to have a long-term, like, you're choosing to have a child with this person that you don't know.
That's the absolute
and you're
point
signing
right
yourself up to potentially, you know, go through a whole nother heartbreak with a baby.
And let's put Cardi B aside. Like, the perspective of the child. You're bringing a child in with a father who is either going to be wishy-washy, just straight up absent, and you're like, you are making an irresponsible decision to have a child with a person you barely know. You don't know if you don't know if they'll be a good father yet, and you're still choosing to pursue to bring a child in under those circumstances. That to me is the irresponsible nature.
And it's a toxic, like, my thing too is just like their dynamic is so fucking toxic. It's just like that inevitably falls back on the kids of like, my parents don't get along.
And this is the thing. I believe, like, me and Cardi B are birthday twins, like, same year. Like, I think we have a lot of like similarities in, I want to say this is like, I like her. I feel like me talking about this, like, one thing about people being a fan is that you can be critical. Like, I like her. This is me just saying my opinion, but it's like, I do think it says something about her to have a baby with Offset. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, I can imagine that prior to Culture being born, she knew he had other kids that he might not see. You know what I'm saying? But you still took the gamble that it'll be different with me. And that's strange.
I think that it is something that you learn. Like, I think, like, until you learn the lesson, like, until you realize, like, I don't know. It is just something that you...
Absolutely. She's very male-centered. She's very male-centered.
Right. And so it's just like, yeah, that's like an unlearning, a decentered, like, and also, like you said, like, I mean, like I said, just what has been normalized, like dating somebody with kids and blah, blah, blah. Like, not even like, oh, we're going to like make this like a... I don't know. It's like, oh, he's not there for his other kids. Like, oh, like,
and
like,
that
you know
being okay,
and also,
until your kids
also
come.
have the knowing. Yes, right. And then also having the knowing of like, bringing his kids around because it's not right. That they need their dad, but
I just think it's just interesting. Like the class part, like you brought up, is interesting because I do think there's a lot of people coming to Cardi B's defense and knocking Crissle for saying what she said, and their whole thing is, but she can afford these kids. That's their whole point. And I think to me, people are also sharing their perspectives of coming from privilege and saying the irresponsible decisions of their parents is very traumatic. I watched a TikTok of this girl. Her father was extremely strict growing up. She couldn't go to prom, she couldn't date, she couldn't do anything. And he was raised by a single mother. He's never met his father. And he basically was so strict on his daughter because he never wanted her to end up like his mother. He saw his mother struggle as a single mother. He also had trauma for watching that, and then also never meeting his father. She now is like carrying the trauma of being raised by a super strict dad who had unhealed trauma because of, it just kept going down the line, basically, is her point. And it's just like, I say that to say, she needs to be very careful because yes, you can show your kids all the love. You can show your kids the world, take them to Paris, do all those things. Yeah. You can be a great mom. You can have the best intentions and still your kids end up with trauma, especially when you make irresponsible decisions knowingly with their, like choosing who's they're going to be their father. And I know personally, I would not have a baby. Even if I was dating someone seriously, I wouldn't have a baby after a year of knowing them. Especially with their reputation. I'm sorry. I wouldn't. Yeah. Especially on the heels of a nasty divorce.
Yes. And that's the thing too. It's just like
with a man who barely knows my most recent kid.
And it's like it's okay to move on and have experiences and stuff. But yeah, like the kid part about it just makes everything so much more serious. Like all of this is like, it just becomes serious. It's just like he's all these allegations, like the baby that's whatever. It's just like it would be fine. And so it would be fine if they were not having a child. Like it's just like whatever. It's like they're dating.
Yeah, it would be fine.
And I guess I just am like, it takes time to heal. Even like this is what it is. Even just knowing what it is that you need to heal. Like that's something that it doesn't feel like she necessarily took time to do. And so I feel for her because ultimately she's gonna be the one that has to deal with like
the kids,
the knowing of like her mistakes, the pain of like if this doesn't work out with this guy and like you know what I'm saying? So it's just like
absolutely, it could have been avoided. It could have been avoided, and I do think she's very male centered. This is all our opinion. These are all our opinions. These are all allegations. These are all things we're just making. We are saying from our opinions. But I think that like, even just like I would love to see like she's very male centered. Like she gets a mommy makeover after every single. It is alleged. She talks about getting liposuction after having babies. And it's just like, I wonder what her daughters, like, I would love to see them old, like when they're like 18 and what their relationship with their like beauty looks like. Because I wonder what it would be like if I had a mother who is beautiful. I mean, my mother's beautiful, but beautiful in the way of like baddie aesthetic. Who's like wearing a waist trainer, putting on the faja, as she says, the minute she's done with birth, getting surgery for liposuction, got her nose done, got butt shots, got like fake boobs. Like, I wonder what that does to a daughter when it's like, it's not like you did it one time and we never, we move on. Plenty of moms have boob jobs. But after every pregnancy, I know you have done work. I'm curious what, like, there's an unhealthy relationship to her body there and her beauty image.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that is like.
And it's all for the male gaze, like to have a bit fat ass, big boobs, like it's all for the male gaze. It's not for, it's not for just to like look thinner in your arms. Like she's getting ass shots. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the thin thing is a part of it, but, because she, just not going to look
bigger than she has to, or like bigger than she wants to. And it's like, it's honestly sad. Like, I think we're seeing symptoms of an insecure person, like people that have emotional damage, quote unquote, or just like their own trauma, are people that make these kinds of decisions. And so that is kind of what makes me feel, I just hope that she gets
I pray for the kids at this point. Yeah.
Like, I hope, but it's just like, she is their mother. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's just like, I hope that she can grow, you know, like, I really do. I hope she gets some understanding of just like what all
Can
of
I ask you a question? Like, so I remember, you know, Samantha is our straight resident, so she'll tell us things about boys and girls. And I remember you telling,
guys, I'm fluid, but yes, I did.
I remember you saying how, like, you know, it is a kink for people to be like, come in me, and like girls like it. So girls like to say it to a guy for his ego and to make, you know, and also maybe they like it, but for his ego. Like, in my mind, the way you portrayed it was like, it's a very like, it's a dirty talk thing, but it's also like, in my mind, like something that pleases the guy. Like, oh, like you want me to finish in here, you know, like it's not disrupting the moment. Yada yada yada. I asked all this to say,
I think it's definitely more for their pleasure.
Yes, for their pleasure. So I say all this to say, do you think that Cardi, like, this is kind of a symptom of all of that? Like, where it's like, you know, this is going into, let me think about a reaction. Like this, that, but her being pregnant right now, like basically having unprotected raw sex with this man, having a baby after a year of knowing him, if the timeline adds up, and basically this is just all a manifesting of the insecurities. Like, you know, it's like she's so male-centered, she lets men come in her. You know what I'm saying? And she ends up getting fucking pregnant. Like, it's just like,
I think that we are witnessing somebody that came from poverty to getting so much money that they have all the support in the world. And like what Sterling K. Brown's wife was saying, I want to know what her name is.
Michelle.
Okay, yeah.
Michelle Ryan.
Yeah, something. I think her name's Ryan, actually.
She said all her family calls her Michelle. I think that's her real name. I think Ryan's her middle name.
It's Ryan Michelle Bates.
Oh, so they call her middle name. Okay, so Ryan Michelle.
I think her family calls her that, but like the public, we call her Ryan.
Gotcha.
But like what she was saying, you know, her family members are just like, you have everything that you could have ever asked for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is the mindset that she's going into when she is having sex. She's like, I can afford it. She's not thinking about,
it's just a
line.
Big responsibility for just a fun night.
But people, I mean, I don't get it either because I don't participate in that. Like, I've never been on birth control. You know, so it's just like, I'm not taking that risk just because I just don't. I don't know if I've never been in like the heat of the moment enough, or like, or people just know not to play with me because I'm just like, it's just not come up. And I do think it is on the woman's part to probably be more so like, maybe they just get the vibe, or they are told, or they are asked, you know what I'm saying?
I just feel like it's a male, it's like you do it to like look sexy for the man, you know? And I wonder if this is all just part of her insecurities and that's why she keeps getting pregnant.
I think it is part of it. I do think that I do think it is more male leaning. I know there's women that would say like, no, like I like that. And it's like, I get why you do. Like it does feel like, it's something that I have not experienced yet. That is probably, I mean, I was like, whatever. It's just like, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like it feels like somebody that you can just really be with. You know what I'm saying? Like, without having to think about all this stuff. It's just like, no, we are together, I guess. But I don't know. I do think part of it though is that it's about like, you know what they want to hear.
and you're willing to do that, but also like she don't believe in birth control. Like, I don't know, like she's taking that risk, and I do think it's because of the money, like because of being able to. I don't get it either. Like I don't get how people get pregnant, like just all willy-nilly. Like I feel like there's so much. I mean, I do understand, like, if you don't know, like, if, like, you haven't had proper sex education or, because there are people that a guy will just come in, like, and it's just like, oh, shit, like, I'm pregnant. Like, I don't know what's happening, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, if you know what the risks are and you're doing that just because you were in the moment and you like need a plan B, like I haven't lived that life yet. I would love to know, honestly, because I think that I'm in a minority, honestly. Like,
yeah, maybe you are. I don't know. I really feel like I'm on to something, or we're on to something where it's like, she has a very huge problem with being male-centered, and I wonder if like letting men just come in her to have babies is part of it, because she's in the heat of the moment. She wants to feel sexy to him. She wants to, but I also think her upbringing has a lot to do with it. Like, this is also normal.
I mean,
but
obviously the baby, and this is like, I have one more point after
yeah,
this.
yeah.
It's just like, obviously the baby's like here now, but it's just like, I don't know. It just feels like such a heavy, like kind of a bummer thing to happen at like the beginning of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, this is like not fun anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's a way to kill it. I hate to say it, but I think this is a way to make it very complicated with the person you haven't even established like healthy communication with. The first year me and Julia were playing, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's just like the fun's over now.
Exactly.
On the way.
I think that's what I'm saying, and I think that's what Crissle said. Please don't come talk to us in the future about it, because we can see the writing on the wall. And I feel like that's why it's so terrifying, because we can see the writing on the wall and we know that there's now a lot at stake, Yeah.
I think the last thing I was going to say after that was just like, I do think it's interesting, this conversation about talking to women, or like creating like kind of controversy, like the choice of Crissle to go that far in on this like pregnant woman. I thought that was interesting. Like, this woman is pregnant. You have a large audience, like, and it actually did make waves, and she responded and stuff, and it's just like, she's already probably scared, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I think pregnancy is just scary in general.
Absolutely.
And so it's just like, just that, having that conversation about like how we speak about people, like when the baby is already en route and hasn't made it out yet. Like, it's just like, we're talking about these mommy makeovers and stuff, and it's just like, it's scary. Like, I'm just like, I hate all this talk about, I hate how she said it in her song, and I hate that like Crissle said. Like, it's just like, let's stop saying that.
I mean, I think it's scary. Like, and like we pray that when if and when she goes, under the table, for this, mommy makeover, if she has it this time around, we pray that, obviously a health surgery. But I also just, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's just interesting. I think class has a big, Crissle, I feel like, brought in a good perspective and critique amongst there being like class, like amongst the person being rich, because I feel like people were not expecting that, because the thing is she can take care of the kids, but I think she was exposing taking care of the kids is a lot more than just finances. And even if you are taking care of the kids in every other way, there's still a chance that you could have a kid who grows up with a wishy-washy dad, and that sucks. You know what I'm saying?
I think that we need to have, like, along with like,
we hope Stefan steps up
birth control, like, or like sex education, but like family planning conversations. Like, I think that should be a thing.
And
like,
just
what can, families can look all types of different ways.
Yes,
like, this
absolutely.
is the bottom line. Like,
there has to be some accountability.
Like,
there has to be some accountability and responsibility in these decisions. I could, like, I mean, I can't afford a kid right now, but say I was a millionaire at this moment, I could afford a kid, but I am not in a right place to have one. I know that if I had one right now, we would have some serious fucking problems.
I don't think that comes with
emotional maturity,
class too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do think that is like, I don't know, just like,
Yes.
like, oh, like my parents didn't have this, they had a kid. Like, I don't know what I don't know, but like,
But
I
she's
do
now
know
knows.
now. I do know now. It's like, I think, yeah, like people see kids differently.
And once you have a kid, though, I think, like, I don't know if you're seeing this, but like on my For You page, and we should end it, like, and move on to, like, our last pleasantries. But like, I saw on my For You page when I first came on, it was like this girl. She was like, I'm 23, I have 3 kids, and it's miserable. Like, she was like, I'm poor, I can't afford it. I wasn't thinking when I had them, but once I have these kids, reality snaps. So what I'm trying to say is, she knows better now. She's gone through raising a kid 3 times. This is now just irresponsible behavior. Life has slapped her in the face 3 different times when she realized how much of a responsibility a fucking kid is.
I think that, yes, there are a lot of work. I don't think she realizes the emotional maturity and like how these different types of situations can affect her children emotionally.
Oh, I agree with that. I
think that's why she's able to rationalize this. The last thing I want to say is, I did think it was kind of funny that Crissle, and mind you, like, long time read pot, like, y'all know we love to read, like, they're our OGs, like, love the read. But I was like, Beyonce was right there. I'm like, she had all that smoke for Cardi B, and it was just the same week of the Beyonce being at the table with Jared Kushner. And so I just like,
but we know why.
I know. But it's just like, we're gonna have the smoke, especially in these times. Like, I think it is going to get to a point. They might just never say anything bad about Beyonce or like critical about Beyonce ever again. But it's like, it's just interesting. It's like, she's right there. Like, you're going in on Crissle. I mean, you're going in on Cardi B. And not that I want her to go in on Beyonce, but it's just like,
yeah, I get
we are living in crazy times. And yeah, you're reading the president, like, so that was my only other thought. But
makes sense. Final thing, Rihanna had a baby on, I believe, the 17th, and named it was
13th.
Oh, 13th. Okay, 13th. And she named the baby Riot. Sorry, no, she didn't. Rocky. Sorry, Rocky. Irish Mayors. Yes, September 13th, and we're so proud of. We're so happy for her, because she had a girl.
She had her girl. Yes.
I was wondering though, what are these? What are these? Is those
the pink thing? I think
what are those?
Like ballet slippers or something.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, they were shaped so weird. I was like, what are those? Okay, yeah, but she had a girl, so congratulations. She had
a healthy baby, and I mean, that's another person, Rihanna too, we could talk about. But I guess Rihanna's been in a relationship for a long time.
Rihanna's been in a relationship, and I think at this point we were clowning Rihanna. Like, I feel like when those first like Harlem pictures came out, people were like, ASAP Rocky, that's who you choose. You had people were going in for a while. I feel like he has proven that he is going to be a father. He is a family man now. He's rebranded, I would say. And so I think Rihanna does get that smoke. But I remember talking to you about this. Like, we were like, I wish she chose better. Like, really? This is a man who was just, but I think she had the people at the same smoke. But I think that ASAP Rocky has really grown up. Like, I feel like one thing I can see is maturity in him. And she has commanded that he be a father and a husband, and he is rising to the occasion.
I'm looking at the picture closely. I'm just like, oh my god,
she's cute. But yeah,
all the pink.
That's all we got today.
Guys, I think that's everything.
I'm about to make some brownies.
Yes, I'm hungry. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but yes, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Shout out to Cody and Jess. Congratulations. We're so happy for you guys. Yes. Make sure you guys email us at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Send us any topics or questions you guys have for us, or things you want us to elaborate on. They can be personal questions too. Like, we want to hear from y'all. So anywho's, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.